I'm here with little Rob. You're doing all right, aren't you, Robbie? You can see he's got very weak little back legs. He has to drag them everywhere. He's just been having a little treat. One of his little biscuits, so he's made lots of crumbs, haven't you, Robbie? He's a very good boy. I wanted to let you know how the vet visit went last week. Rob is so nervous, and he hasn't had to go to the vet before, but he's not comfortable with anyone holding him apart from me. It took him ages to get used to me when he first came to us when he was 6 months old. So I was a little bit worried about taking him to the vet, and I didn't want to stress him out, but he was absolutely fine. He was nervous. He didn't really want to be picked up or held, but the vet managed to examine him. You might remember I mentioned he was having a lot of hiccups, and I'm always concerned whether that is a heart condition, because I only found out myself a few years ago that hiccups can be, if they have constant hiccups, it could be an indication that they were having like an irregular heartbeat or like heart palpitations. Treats have all gone. Treats have all gone. I'll get you something in a minute. You're a good boy. But his heart is fine. His lungs are not too bad at all. He was a tiny bit wheezy, but it's cleared on its own. He hasn't had to have any antibiotics for that. But the vet gave him a really good check over, and she said she just confirmed that he is in sort of early kidney disease. His urine sample's not good. And it's got very high protein and high white blood cells, but he's previously had antibiotics in case it was an infection, but it wasn't. It made no difference at all to his urine sample results. So what we're doing, he obviously was uncomfortable. The only reason I knew he was uncomfortable last week is he wouldn't let me pick him up, and he really would do anything rather than let me pick him up. But that is his bones that is hurting rather than his actual kidneys and his bladder. And I think I went through all the possible signs and symptoms of early kidney disease last week. So anyway, I was worried about giving him a painkiller, because a painkiller can affect his kidneys and it can make his kidney disease. Little toe caught there. Sorry, little boy, your toe was a bit caught. You just heard a dog bark outside, haven't you? He's going into a dark corner because he can hear one of the neighbours' dogs barking. It's okay, they can't get to you. So anyway, I was worried about giving him the painkiller because it can increase the problems with his kidneys and it can shorten his life. But he's having problems with his bones, which is because there's depleted calcium. And although he's on kidney-friendly diet and he has his vitamins twice a week, he has his vitamins. He has got this rear leg weakness or hind leg degeneration. It's got several different names, but it's like his bones have got weak and sort of arthritic, and it's causing him some pain. Although he's getting around okay, we've had to modify the cage. But to keep him comfortable, we are going to give him a daily painkiller. Now, it's very important that you get your vet to weigh your rat and work out the dose for you, because it's dependent on the weight of each rat. Now, I hadn't been able to weigh Robbie, but they have different scales at the vet, and he was weighing exactly 600 grams. So we now know he's 600 grams. So he's still a good weight. Even though he's lost weight, he's not, I can feel all his bones, but he's okay for now. Now, on my previous vet, and you probably know, I swap vets to find the best vet that I can. I stick with a vet, then the vet moves on. If there's not another suitable vet, I'll just go to another practice. I recently moved to a surgery closer to my home because my rats are all old, and it's costing me so much in taxi fares. And with old rats, and I'm so pleased we were close, because I have an emergency like Brandon, I don't want to be spending an hour travelling to another town. So I'm back close to home to my original vet. All new vets there, but I'm back with my original vet. Found someone there who's got a keen interest in rodents, which is really good. And so I had a discussion over why they prescribe a different painkiller to my other vets. Now, originally we would be given Metacam, dog Metacam, and we've also been prescribed cat Metacam by a different vet, and it's all the same sort of medicine, but the vet we're using now uses this one called Meloxidil. It's just fallen out. It's a little tiny bottle. It comes in different strengths, and this is a cat medicine, minoxidil. It's the same sort of anti-inflammatory as Metacam. And so I was able to ask her quite a few questions about why I keep hearing some people are told give your anti-inflammatory once a day. Other people are being told you can give it twice a day. Now, we've always been told once a day, and it actually says in the instructions a once a day medication. But apparently some small animals like birds, they have to have it twice a day because they have a different metabolism. So you split the dose into two, and this is why rats can have medicine twice a day. But because it's such a tiny dose, it's very, very hard to accurately measure out. Even with your syringe, you're going to have to use a special syringe to measure out anti-inflammatories. There is a syringe that comes with it, but our vet gives us an even smaller syringe so we can easily see the dose. She gives us a 1 ml syringe, so it's much easier to see what you're measuring out. And because with Rob, he is on sort of 0.5 mils. It's actually sort of 0.6 mils, so it's very hard to get it accurately. To get him, that is like one drop out of the syringe, so not very much at all. So we are giving it once a day at the moment, but if we feel that it seems to be working fine, if we feel that it's not working, we can split the dose into two. But it's very, very important that you do give this with food because it can irritate their stomachs. So my little boy, he's on a painkiller daily. It's helping to keep him comfortable. He's eating a bit more now. He's letting me pick him up again. But it could shorten his life. But you have to weigh up. You cannot keep a rat in pain. It's really important that you keep them comfortable. And now he's gone into a really dark corner here, so you can't see him as well. But he's happy because he can hear the dog barking. He feels safe now. So you just have to weigh up the pros and cons, and you know, we couldn't keep him in pain. We had to do something to keep him comfortable, and because he was losing weight and wasn't eating, I think he may have gained a little bit of weight. He's not looking quite as thin as last week, so he's quite happy little man to come and sit here on the sofa with me. Currently he's on his vet bed fleece with a towel underneath because urine will go straight through, but I've just bought some lovely little fleece pads for him to sleep on, and I'll put those up on the Facebook page. They're in the wash at the moment. So that's little Robbie. So he's still with us, but so the vet said to be aware that things can change rapidly. As we know, he can be okay today and then tomorrow he might have suddenly deteriorated. So we're just watching him very carefully. I'm checking him several times a day, getting him out as often as he'll let me get him out. And nice little Rob, so he's still here. He's seeming quite happy. He's a good little boy, aren't you? He's a good little man. Yes, he is. He's a very good little man. And he's had his treat now, so I'm sure he'll just go to sleep next to me while I do my online shopping and everything. And then when he wakes up from his little sleep, I'll pop him back in his cage so I can go out to another room and prepare some food and wash some dishes and all sorts of things. So that's my little man there.